It's time for Quarantiki, and we're here. It's been a confusing week over here at Quarantiki at Lovecraft Cocktails. I have, in my spare time, been poring over the latest of the Harry Dresden novels from Jim Butcher. So I've got Harry Dresden on the mind. And let's see what else. Oh, it was H.P. Lovecraft's birthday last week. So, have to do a shout out to the man HPL. The Sandman series dropped on Netflix, so of course we just had to watch the whole thing. I think we binged it in 2 days is what we did. The flame's gone out. That's not good. All right, we got to get this incense burning back again. Ancient creatures have to be summoned. So we obviously, binging it in 2 days. Okay, scratch that. 3, because there was a drop of a bonus 2-part episode that was partially animated that we saw on the 3rd day. So, all right, 3 days to binge the whole thing. Apparently we liked it. Yes, we did. So this evening's episode is going to be a series of drinks that are inspired by the Sandman universe. Now, the Sandman universe was created primarily by Neil Gaiman and was featured in a series of graphic novels back in the 80s? 80s, maybe 80s and 90s. I think they went back and did more of them. And for years it has been kicking around as doing some sort of animated or live action version. And, I gotta say, I think they did it well. They did it very nicely. Neil seems to be happy with it. Mr. Gaiman, sorry, seems to be, I don't know why I lapse into calling famous people by their first name. It makes it sound like I actually know them, and I do not. I've heard Mr. Gaiman speak a couple of times. That's as close as I've been to him. Anyway, enough of that digression. So we are going to, in fact, be doing some cocktails this evening inspired by creations of Neil Gaiman in the Sandman graphic novels. So that's the plan this evening. I cannot say that I have put a whole lot of time into these. They are variations of other things that I have found lying about and some modifications at the last minute. So we're kind of treading some new ground here. We'll see how it goes. But before we do that,
you have some audience.
We do have audience?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Yay. It is good to have audience.
So Elizabeth says, heck yeah, you're live.
Heck, okay, good.
Cheryl
good
says
to be
hi,
live.
good evening.
Hello.
Colleen says hello, and we actually got to see her for dinner.
We did. We got to see Colleen the other day. Mm-hmm.
And Ann Carey says hiya.
Hi, all. In addition to all of the other stuff that was going on, we started our Tiki Trail, which meant, so DC in past years has done a Tiki Trail, which is essentially you have this map of various restaurants that are doing Tiki cocktails, and you go around and you get them to sign off that you in fact have had a Tiki cocktail at their establishment. And if you fill up the entire card, then there's special bonuses at the end of the Tiki Trail. We are very late getting started because of my trip to Kentucky, so we stopped in at Tiki on 18th, which, we are sad to say we had not been in quite a while. I think it was pre-pandemic before we were, last time we were in Tiki on 18th, which is not to say we don't love the folks at Tiki on 18th. I will say that they have grown by leaps and bounds. The last time we were there, their bar area was really pretty small. They've expanded their bar. It's much easier for their bartenders to work around and to engage with the patrons. The very first time we went to Tiki on 18th was
During their soft open.
during their soft open, and there was some coaching as to things like the difference between falernum and orgeat. So they've come a long way, baby. And here's my shout out to Rico there, who is just an extravagantly nice guy. And I'm sorry that, well, I'm not sorry because I enjoyed conversing with you. I am sorry that the side effect of that meant that you got out of there about a half hour later than what you were intending on doing. So it's been chock full of various things, all of which I could reference on this particular show. So there, I've referenced all of them. We're going to go with the Sandman for this evening. You know, could have done Harry Dresden books, could have done a tribute to HPL, could have done a lot of things. We're going to go with Sandman. Had I thought about it a little stronger, I might have done a Sandman themed set of cocktails where I did his tools. So I would have done the sand, the helm, and the ruby, which I think would have been an awesome set of cocktail names to do for this evening. But we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to do characters from Neil Gaiman's Sandman. We're going to do the Sandman himself, Morpheus. We're going to do Fiddler's Green, and we're going to do the Corinthian. And I'm still not sure on what order I want to do these things in. But first, we have to toast. And there are still rums left over from when my sweetie decided she wanted me to come back from Kentucky that we have not touched yet. So we're going to have to do that. This has no easy open tab. Why are you doing this to me? Just to prove once again that I should be opening bottles before
the broadcast.
Before the broadcast.
Yeah.
We'll just sneak a knife in here. Slice open my hand.
Don't
Nope.
do that.
No, don't want to do that. Okay. You know, I think that would have bad effects on my ability to do the rest of this broadcast.
It would.
I mean, for the Corinthian anyway, it would be colored appropriately.
Right,
but,
right.
But we don't want to do that.
No.
Turn that light off. So what is this? So this is rum from Mauritius.
I
Right?
need to turn this down a little bit.
Turn that down just a tad. All right. Ooh.
There we go.
A little more dark, a little more spooky, a little easier to see my face.
Yeah.
Spooky. Oh, we don't have our lava lamp. We have the lava lamps on. We don't have our jellyfish lamp. That's the word I'm looking
okay.
for. Jellyfish
Fish
lamp.
lamp.
How's your mic doing? You
My
good?
mic's fine, yeah.
Good? We got reception.
Yeah.
So we have the Lily White Emperor Mauritian rum. Neither of us know anything more really about
Right.
this.
I mean, the only way I know Mauritian rum is from Equiano,
Right?
which is a blend of Mauritian and Caribbean rums.
So this is just reading the back label.
Uh-huh.
This is a great example of rum. Why?
Why?
Because this is a light rum, right?
Right.
This rum is aged up to 12 years. It is charcoal filtered to have this crystal clear color.
Ah.
Once again, light, gold, and dark means squadouche in the rum world. Okay?
Squadouche.
Squadouche. Smells like a cork
It does.
with some rum on it. I don't know, I have high hopes for this. I'm not sure why. We know next to nothing about it other than, you know, recommendation from... You just said it. Ace? SNR?
No, I got this at, there was no recommendation. I picked it off the shelf and went, I don't know what this is.
From her recommendation.
From Schneider's.
From Schneider's. Oh,
So,
this is
yeah.
a Schneider's rum.
Yeah.
We don't often get over to Schneider's
Yeah.
to do rum hunting. Yeah, so old rum, Lily White old rum, 42% alcohol, should not be particularly aged rums derived from finest Mauritian reserves. There's nothing on here that tells me whether we're looking column, pot still, from molasses, from anything.
Nope.
No clue. No clue. So, cheers to there being way too many cool things going on that we can only fit one or two into a broadcast.
All
'cause
right.
I think that's pleasant. Cheers to Meg and fam, who are off enjoying a well-deserved vacation in North Carolina. There were pictures sitting out on the balcony watching waves roll in on the coast. Yep. Okay, am I wrong, or does this have like some Haitian nose to it? It's not
Yeah.
Clarin-like. but-
No. It's got a little bit of that Haitian nose.
Sweet on the initial. Yeah, this reminds me of
The aged Clarins.
not so much the age Clarins, almost of the Grogu.
Oh, okay.
It being It's not as deeply funky as the Grogu,
Right,
but
right.
it's got that weird, like you didn't expect that flavor to come from a rum.
I'm quite pleased with
I
picking
am.
this off the
Yeah,
shelf.
that's quite tasty. I may swap out what I was doing because I was thinking about using a light agricole for the Fiddler screen. I might use this instead. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. Maybe I'll do two. Depends on how we're doing. Okay, so there we go. This is a delightful little rum. I am quite pleased with this. And it's from a spot on the map that I didn't have rum from, which is always cool unless it's Madagascar, which, you know, Mauritius is actually fairly close to no, well, I mean, it's in the Indian Ocean, so it's Madagascar is probably the biggest or the closest large landmass to it. Why do I say that? Well, because Madagascar rum, at least the Madagascar rums that I've had, have all been not good. Yeah, they've been a little too vanilla-y for my taste, as in they tasted like someone added vanilla extract to them. All right, I have no particular order in which I want to do these drinks this evening. I think the Sandman cocktail is probably straight up the strongest, most in-your-face alcoholic drink, so it might be better to start with that. That said, you know, the Corinthian has a little bit of a backstory, so it might be interesting to do the Corinthian. I think Fiddler's Green fits right in the middle there.
Start with the Sandman.
We'll start with the Sandman. We'll just go Sandman, Fiddler's Green, and we'll end on the Corinthian.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That works for me. I should get a show of hands from the studio audience as to who has seen the Sandman or read it, and or who has no plans to see Sandman and does not care if there might actually be spoilers during this particular broadcast, because there might. So, you know, I got to be careful here. All right, what am I going to do? I'm going to take a shaker pint, one of these guys. This one's glass that we got from Ohana? No, from Inuhele. So we didn't go to Ohana because we got COVID.
Right.
This is from the Kona Brewing Company, Liquid Aloha. I don't remember. These were like spritzers or something, like hard seltzers.
Hard seltzers.
And they were okay. I mean, if you want a hard seltzer, sure. Or if you want a daiquiri, come see me. Okay, what are we going to do? So we're going to start with a half ounce of a sweetener. We're going to go with the orgeat, which I know is up here somewhere. There it is. The original cocktail I was basing this off of is essentially spirits and bitters. And there was no sweet component, there was no sour component to it. It was just straight up alcohols and bitters. And I thought, upon tasting that maybe I needed to back off a little bit, especially since I kind of know part of my studio audience here. Hi, wife. And I figured she would not.
Okay, we have people that care about spoilers.
We do have people that care about spoilers. All right? Do those people know the storyline of Sandman? That would be the next bit.
Colleen has watched 5 episodes.
Okay.
So.
All right. Sure. Got it. All right. So she's halfway through. All right. Half ounce orgeat. Homemade. When was it that we dropped off? Okay, this is why you always start with your cheap ingredients, because when you miss the glass, you can just come over here, rinse it out. And start over. Ta-da! Doesn't happen often, but when it does, you're very glad that your $100 bourbon isn't in that particular glass. Okay, we're going to try this again. We're going to go half ounce of orgeat. When did we pick up the orgeat for?
Thursday.
Was that Thursday? So it was this Thursday. So we haven't had a chance to talk about it. So I received this text from a friend of mine that says, "Hey Pooch, where do you get your orgeat from? Because I've been called on the spot to make some tiki drinks." I, of course, naturally responded with, I make my own. But that, of course, that's not helpful to this poor individual that was seeking my assistance. So then I inquired as to what the time frame was that she needed orgeat, and I did not hear back. But we happened to be in the district. So I thought to myself, there are places in the district where we can just pick up some orgeat that is not so bad.
We did first check to see if ABC
We
or
checked
Total
local
Wine.
ABCs, we checked Total
We
Wine.
checked them online to see if...
The local ABCs apparently aren't carrying orgeat anymore, and the Total Wines near us had, let's just say, unacceptable to me orgeat. I would not recommend this to anyone. So we stopped in at a liquor store in town, and we picked up some orgeat, some small hands orgeat, and delivered it off to them. When we did that, we also, of course, by we, I mean me, wife was driving around because there's no way to get a parking spot in DC. And wow, I am just interrupting this drink all over the place. I don't know why. Oh, because of the orgeat. Story will progress. And while I was in that liquor store, I noticed that they actually had Cuban rum, and they had a rum that we've been looking for a while and actually have an in on some. But as long as the other bottle was available, we went ahead and got it. And that's the Stiggins Pineapple Smoked. Yes, that's right. It's smoked and it's aged in smoked charred barrels, which makes it even better. I have that around here somewhere. Right here. Plantation Rum. Stiggins Fancy, which is the name of their pineapple rum. And this is their smoky flavor or smoky formula. And it is aged in peated whiskey casks. And let me tell you, Star seems to really like that. She thinks it is quite the yum. And I don't disagree. It's pretty good. Okay, so all of that took us away from the fact that we were building this cocktail. It starts with a ½ ounce of orgeat, and then we move into booze. That's it, ½ ounce orgeat and booze. So the booze that goes in here, first of all, is part of the namesake of this.
Colleen says the guy at the liquor store near her didn't know what orgeat was.
There's a lot of folks that don't know what orgeat is in the liquor business. I mean, the guys running the ABC stores in particular generally won't know, unless they have an affinity for rum. If you're one of the ABC stores that has an affinity for rum or tiki drinks, then certainly they'll have orgeat. They'll know or they'll at least know what you're talking about. Most of the others are, you know, the ones that are stocking up on that Fireball whiskey. Yeah, they probably don't know. Anyway, there's a ½ ounce of port in this cocktail. And we, of course, it's not spelled correctly, but we are going to use Sandman's port, Sandeman, instead of any other port, because it's the closest thing to Sandman port that we have. So here is our Sandman ingredient, 1/2 ounce port. There we go. Which will give this a slightly reddish pinkish tint to it. Next up, look, Morpheus is the main character from the series, and he deserves our respect. He deserves good stuff in his cocktail. So you do want some rum in this, and we're going to go with a rum that is going to play nice with the other ingredients here. And so we're going to go with a Barbados rum, which is very bourbon-like in its characteristics. And I'm reaching for the good stuff here. Not massively good, but good enough. This is 12 years aged, the 2008 Foursquare Exceptional Cask. And we are going to go a ½ ounce of this wondrous Barbados rum. If you don't want to spend this much on this cocktail, you could certainly use just about any other Barbadian rum. You could use Dourley's, you could use Real McCoy, something along those lines. Would be fine. This just kind of kicks it up a notch, and I think plays well with the last ingredient, the last major ingredient here, which is rye. And I don't think it's spoiling too much to say that the storylines from from Sandman often have a redemption aspect to them. Morpheus's character does change over time, and so therefore, for the rye, we are going to use the redemption rye, and this is their rum cask finish. This is straight rye, whiskey finished in plantation Caribbean rum casks. So there we go. We're going to go 1.5 ounces of the redemption rye. So rye, port, and rum. So there's 3/4.
So you're saying there might be a little bit of booze in there?
A little bit of booze. A little bit. Just a wee bit. Now, totally not called for in the base recipe that I was looking at for this was the orgeat. Remember, there was no orgeat in there. And I want the mouthfeel of this cocktail to be a little thicker than what it would turn out to be if you just left it like this, especially once we add ice and start to dilute it a little bit. It'll come out thin, and I don't think thin is really what we want for Dream, for the Sandman himself. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 1/2 ounce of a xanthan gum mixture. This stuff like keeps forever. You just set it on your back bar. Don't even need to refrigerate it. And it just acts as a thickener. It's got no real flavor to it, so it's not going to disrupt anything. I mean, you could put it in with a syrup or something along those lines, or just thicken a syrup with it, but then you've got the flavor of the syrup, so that just makes it harder to work with. Okay, next up, also new ingredient for this particular cocktail is some plum bitters, and we're going to go with the Fee Brothers plum bitters. There is no particular... I'm not spoiling anything by mentioning plums because there's no reference to plums that I can remember in the Sandman. So we're going to go 1 dash, and then we're going to go 2 dashes of plum bitters, and then 1 dash of orange bitters. We're going to fruit this up, basically. There we go. 1 dash Regan's orange bitters. Now we're going to throw some ice in here. We're going to shake it up, and then we're going to have to move faster because I'm taking way too much time on this cocktail. Oh my goodness. Or to get to this cocktail, I guess, right? Get through this cocktail? That's probably better. What did I want to put this in? I'm just going to put this in a coupe, and I want this chilled. So we're going to do some ice in the chilled coupe. Where is my scoop? Okay. All right, I think I might be onto something. I think we might be okay. Here's my coupe. It is chilling. We're going to set that right over here. We've built the cocktail in here. We need to shake this. So I'm going to reach over here, grab metal shaker tin, invert. If you are using 2 metal pieces, the vacuum seal is much stronger. If you're using a metal tin and a plastic tin, like I often do, seal's great. Glass doesn't contract that much. So you got to be a little careful here. It's also much heavier. And I know some people really like the feel of the glass. I just switch it up, use the glass every once in a while. I was getting into a rut of using my cool new Tiki cocktail shaker kit. Kit? Yeah, kit. So I thought I would break it up a little bit, do something a little different.
We have a Gwen.
We have a Gwen, all the way from California.
We have a Sarah.
Sarah!
Sarah, Capclave Sarah.
Uh-huh.
And Amanda says he's not thin, but sinewy? I don't know how to say that word.
Oh, I wasn't speaking of the physical characteristic of Morpheus. I was just the more ethereal nature of the Lord of the Dreams that I think needs to be captured with something besides a weak, thin...
Right, but she discussed the body shape with her trainer and mentioned, I think his shape is adequately personified a being that could fit between dreams.
So she's saying She's got the hots for Morpheus, right? Is that what we're saying here? Okay, we'll pour this out. All right, unexpected. So this is gonna go back in. And close that up. I'm gonna reach over for a second strainer. We're gonna double strain this, and I'm gonna push this pretty tightly closed. Why? Because there was sediment from the port.
Ah.
And I don't really want flecks of port sediment in this cocktail. So I'm going to double strain it to take that out.
Amanda says, don't judge me.
We're not judging you. We're judging Morpheus, or at least the actor playing Morpheus. And his trainer. But we're not done yet, so here we go. I didn't want the little flecks of red from the sediment of the port, but what I do want is some flecks of red coming from some Angostura bitters. So there's one, there's two, three. There we go. And what's cool about that, and it's really hard for you to tell, you can't tell at all from here, but when you put those drops in, the drops sort of skate around and diffuse a little bit over the top, partially because this is a thicker, it's got a denser mouthfeel to it. Well, it's a denser liquid because of the xanthan gum. So you can also do a quick jab with the Angostura bitters, and you can actually embed the bitters sort of inside the thick mouthfeel of the liquid if you want. But watching it diffuse through is just very, I don't know, it's kind of dreamy. So there we go. This is the Sandman cocktail. I don't know if Star's going to like that at all, but I like it. I think she's going to like it. There you go. You see the little swirls of red in there?
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, there's definitely rye, and I'm not a huge rye fan.
Mm-hmm. But the Redemption Rye plays well with rum, plays exceptionally well with rum, and it isn't a particularly spicy rye.
Right.
And nor is it a very yeasty rye, like, say, Old Overholt, which you would have just gone if we had done, what's the other one that I used? Not Overholt, but, you know the other one. We're drawing a complete blank, aren't we?
Bullet.
No, not Bullet. Nope.
I do not know.
I do not remember. Okay, so these go in here. We're going to clean out the jigger. There you go. We have drink number one, and we're just calling this Sandman. My port is also a little long on the legs, and so it could be that this would be better with a fresher port. Ports are fortified wines, and so they do in fact oxidize over time. Not as badly as fresh wines do, but yeah, I mean, it could be a problem. Oh, there was supposed to be an orchid in that, because I thought an orchid would be pretty and very kind of dreamy and ethereal, so we're just going to set that right there. There we go. One of the hard things with this week is that there isn't anything that is especially tropical or Polynesian about the Sandman series. So, you know, it's a little hard to wind those threads together. There are some Lovecraftian references throughout it, but we haven't really seen any of those in the series up to this point. Oh, the Netflix series up to this point. So there you go. So what do you think? Should we go on and do the Corinthian, who is essentially kind of well, he's certainly one of the bad guys of the initial 10-part series. Or we could do Fiddler's Green.
You said Fiddler's Green went well in the middle.
Yeah, I think it does. I think, especially depending on Star's reaction to this cocktail, which was kind of meh, I think the Fiddler's Green has the highest chance of being something that she wants to drink. So we should probably do the Fiddler's Green. So I think this goes best in a double rocks glass. At least I'm hoping it's going to go best in a double rocks glass, also known as a Mai Tai glass. And we just happen to have picked up a brand new one from Tiki on 18th. So here you go. It says Tiki on 18th, right, in their logo. And it's got all sorts of Tiki coolness in black ink around the outside band of it. So we're going to be using that this evening for the Fiddler's Green. This is also going to be a shaken cocktail. This, I don't think should work, but it somehow does in a weird way. So here's what we're going to start with. The cocktail I'm basing this off of uses simple syrup. I'm going to go and say, I want something with a little more hospitality to it, and that implies pineapples, so we're going to use my pineapple oleo. So how did I make this? This is just simply equal parts sugar and pineapple husk by weight, and let that just sit and stew, and the sugar will just pull all of the liquid out of the pineapple husks, and you'll be left with this wondrous syrup. And that's what we're going to be using. So half ounce pineapple oleo. No, there is no connection whatsoever that I know of with the legends of Fiddler's Green and pineapples. Just saying. Not. What you might not know is that Fiddler's Green, of the various Sandman characters and locations, may be the thing that fits best with Tiki out of the entire canon. Because, in fact, Fiddler, the legend of Fiddler's Green is this happy, green, lush, verdant place where sailors go after they've died. So it's sort of like sailor heaven. And as a consequence, I think it goes very well with Tiki. So there is no hint of that whatsoever in the Sandman show, so just deal with it. But it's still cool anyway. Next up, we're going to go with some Saint Germain elderflower liqueur. Once again, open the bottle, because, look, anything that you have that has a high sugar content, you should definitely be cleaning off the top of the bottle and opening it before you do anything like this broadcast, because sometimes those bottle caps will just stick and you'll not get them open. Half ounce. I'm going to shut up now and make cocktails. Half ounce elderflower liqueur. So far, nothing in this cocktail, none of these two ingredients I've put in so far is green. And, well, the cocktail is called Fiddler's Green, so there's got to be something green in here. And we're going to go with creme de menthe. No, we are totally not going with creme de menthe. We are going with this
Midori.
bottle. No, we're not going with Midori either. We're going with something a little more upscale than the Midori. We're going green chartreuse. We want the herbal components here. And so here we go. We're going to go half ounce green chartreuse.
We have a Cam.
Hey, Cam. I hear you're going to be visiting David and Chris. All right, so there we go. Right, there's a half ounce green chartreuse. And then we're going to do another half ounce. This is really easy recipe. Like everything in here is a half ounce, for pretty much. Half ounce lime juice. Yay, finally getting to some lime juice. Prevention of scurvy. Only you can prevent scurvy. No, I guess that's not true. Any bartender with access to lime juice can prevent scurvy. There might be a whole bunch of things wrong with my health, but scurvy ain't one of them. Okay, 1 ounce of a light rum. And I was originally going to go with a light agricole for this. Do I want to use the Emperor, or do I want to use an agricole? I think I'm going to err on the side of caution here, man. The cautious side to me says don't play with the agricole flavor in the sense of there's a bunch of other flavors going around in this cocktail. You might want your rum to be a little muted, and not go with the agricole and have a chance of throwing the flavor profile completely off, because there's a final ingredient that can just throw this completely out of whack, and I have no idea if it would fit with an agricole. I was willing to give it a shot until we opened this and said, let's do this. All right, so we have 1 ounce light rum. Yeah, light rum. I guess just light in color, because we don't want to use any dark rum, because then we're going to lose our green coloration here. Hopefully this comes out as green as I want it to. Last up, when I think fiddlers and green, I think Ireland, and this, my friends, is an Irish whiskey, but it's not just any Irish whiskey. This is Connemara, and this is a peated single malt Irish whiskey. Arr! So we're going to do that. We're going to do a 1/2 ounce of peated Irish whiskey in here. This was the ingredient that I was really worried about mixing with agricole. So this is the one I'm being cautious about. 1/2 ounce. In it goes. Back in its little jug for safekeeping, the Connemara. Which reminds me, we need to get a bottle of this for Sue at some point, because I think she would love it. Okay, there we go. This is the Fiddler's Green cocktail, and this is going to go in a double rocks glass. We're going to do it from Tiki on 18th, which paradoxically, most of their walls are green, so maybe this will work. I don't know. What do you think? Seems like it's a plan. We're going to go in here with that. I'm going to throw some ice in here, like such. Right. There is something else in this. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, right. Just double check. What am I doing? Ice can stay there. I need to cap this and shake it. Here we go. Now, I would like to infuse a little bit of some mint flavor into this, but I didn't want to break up the mint too badly, so I'm going to throw some mint leaves in here, just like that. Lid that back up. Almost anything more than that, and you're just going to break up the mint leaves, and I don't really want the mint leaves broken up and flying everywhere in here. There we go. And now we shall strain this using a different strainer than before, because if we use the other strainer, we'd have Orshot and it would be icky. We're going to keep this ice in here. Really, really pale green. And then the last ingredient, we're going to top this off with basically about 1 ounce of Prosecco. Or some other sparkling wine. We're hoping that this is still, yep, still got some oomph. So I'm pretty pleased with this, because you know why? This is a bottle of Prosecco that we opened during the party, what, 3 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. But I sealed this with the neutral air, not neutral air. Argon, neon, noble gases right in here, such that it would not go bad, and it seems to have worked. And we kept some of the fizz. Hello. I mean, there's so little in here. Yep, we got a little fizz. So we're going to go 1 ounce of Prosecco, just like that. I'm going to take this spoon, just incorporate that just a tad. And I'm going to really hope that this works, because this is my big hope drink, is the Fiddler's Green. Oh, that's kind of funky and fun. It's much lighter, much more refreshing than I thought it might be. Maybe it's just because I'm coming off of the incredibly heavy Morpheus infused previous cocktail. Wow, the mint leaves are falling off of these stems right here. But it is the green, right? So I want bunches of mint in here. There we go. I can even stick these guys in there. So there's a veritable forest o' green in the Fiddler's Green. And then we're going to stick a straw in there for my wife. She can use the same one I used. All right. I'm going to take another sip of this. You really wouldn't think those flavors would play well together. That is a fun flavor.
That is fun.
Yeah. It's hard to describe that flavor, though.
It's like a rolling hills because it's like changing.
Yeah, I mean, there's complexity to it. It changes. It moves from one thing to another. But it's like you can't pull the pieces apart.
Right.
I can't go, oh, that's the pineapple. Oh, that's the elderflower. Oh, that's the chartreuse, which you would expect. I mean, there's a full half ounce of chartreuse in that. That should be, oof.
Yeah.
And it's not. There you go. I will not see the Fiddler's Green anymore. I'm not sure what the 8 rum agricole would have done to that. There is the chance that it would have made it better, just with that. The rum agricoles do have a very pronounced sort of grassy note to them, and so that might have just played up the effects. But I don't know. Don't know that it would have. I might investigate this evening after the show is done, and we are ready for our last cocktail of the evening. Do we have any questions? How, Pooch, did you get such a freaking cool mug? Well, it turns out I was in the right spot at the right time. We were sitting at a bar, Tiki on 18th, in fact, and I looked over and they had these stacks of these little mugs, these little barrel mugs. And I went, those are really cool. Oh, and they come in a couple of different styles. No, they don't. This is one mug. Yes. It just happens to look like a stack of barrels, and it's from Mount Gay. Mount Gay, Barbados producer of rum, and this is the Mount Gay established 1703. There's a Mount Gay 1703 rum that is quite tasty. I can't remember if I actually have any Mount Gay rums because most of my Barbados collection is taken up with Four Squares. Very little of it would be Mount Gays. Not because there's anything wrong with Mount Gay, but because I tend to prefer the higher price point on the Barbados rums, because Richard Seale is kind of a god in the distilling world. So anyway, so we've got this now really cool mug, and I don't know, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it aside from make some rum barrel cocktails for people, and they will have to drink it out of this double rum barrel that we have. You can't see that there. Can you see it here? There you go. Now you can see it. That's kind of cool. Okay. One more cocktail. So the Corinthian. What do we say about the Corinthian? Wait, I have a... Aha, that was supposed to be in the Prosecco. We're just going to have to finish off that Prosecco this evening.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Star's like, sure, no problem. Hey, here, we're going to just pour it into the... We're going to pour it right there. There we go. We're all done. We just poured it into the Sandman. We're done with that. And now I have that. Well, I was kind of hoping that the rains would continue, because as long as the rains continued, it was very nice outside. But as soon as the rain stopped, the humidity started climbing through the roof, which is going to be a pain, because it means we have to close up the house again, and blah, 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 blah. But also, while we're doing the broadcast, we can't have the fan on, because the fan, the heating and air conditioning actually ruins part of the reception, and so it's all bad. So we're a little sweltering at the moment. At least I am, and I've got long sleeves on, so...
I have short sleeves and I'm not under lighting.
True. So you're fine,
I'm
is what you're
fine.
saying. You've also got a doorway with
Yeah.
air blowing straight on you. So what does the Sandman taste like lengthened with Prosecco? Oh, no, we don't want to do that. Oh. Okay, drink your Sandmans fast, because they separate. Oh, ew. Oh, and upon separation, they're not good. Oh, and don't put Prosecco in them either. Oh, oof. That was a poor idea. On to something better. How's that? The Corinthian. What should we say about the Corinthian? Well, let's see. We can use Neil Gaiman's own words when describing the Corinthian. These are the words that he penned for Morpheus talking about the Corinthian. You were created to be the darkness and the fear of darkness in every human heart. A black mirror made to reflect everything about itself that humanity will not confront. Well, that sets up a kind of bleak picture for the Corinthian. Why is this not on? That should be on. I can't find... Oh, there it is. That's probably slightly helpful. Look at that! Now there's light on my face. Hey! We're only 47 minutes into this broadcast, and I realized one of my lights was off. Anyway, so Corinthian. The Corinthian is a nightmare created by Morpheus, and when Morpheus is indisposed, the Corinthian decides that he doesn't want to just be a nightmare, and he indulges his fantasies upon the mortal world. And it was not what Morpheus intended for him, and that storyline plays out through the 10-episode arc of the initial first season. By the way, there will be a second season, and they have enough material to do something like 5 to 7 seasons if they really wanted to. So here we are looking forward to many more seasons of The Sandman. Hopefully they will keep up this level of production. All right, so shut up, start making a cocktail. There is 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice in this. And then there's raspberry syrup. Raspberry syrup. I got out the raspberry syrup. I know I got out the raspberry syrup. I pulled it out. Squeeze bottle. It's out here somewhere. Okay, or the cat can open the door and suggest to me that maybe I didn't pull the raspberry syrup out. Really? I could have sworn I pulled it out. So, here we go. This is actually puree. This is from Real, and it says shake well. Duh. Let's see. Sugar. Raspberry puree water. So sugar is the #1 content on this, #1 item content on this. This is essentially raspberry syrup. Yep. So what are we going to do with this? We are going to go with 1/4 ounce. 1/2 ounce. Sorry. 1/2 ounce. I can't wear my glasses because I need to not be wearing them for close-up work. And that sometimes makes it a little hard to see my menu board. All right. So there we go. There's 1/2 ounce raspberry syrup. Oh, look at this. We got lime and raspberries. I mean, that seems rather pleasant, doesn't it? I mean, that sounds kind of cool and okay. I mean, there's no dark mirror holding up our bleakest... Oh, wait. What is he reaching for? No, don't do it. My man, no, please. Don't do this to us. Why, yes. It's Fernet Branca. Yep. Now, the original cocktail that I'm basing this off of did a full ounce of Fernet Branca. I'm a nicer person than that. I will not do that to you. We're going to use a 1/2 ounce of Fernet Branca. Right there. And then we want something that can fight against the Fernet Branca. I mean, it's supposed to be a dark mirror to our souls, right? So we need something to counter that. And I want something that's got some oomph, some weight behind it. And we're going to go with the Smith & Cross Jamaican rum. And we're going to go a full ounce of this heavy pot still traditional Jamaican rum blend. Right there. There you go. Now this cocktail is going to go into a Collins glass, like such. We're going to put ice, we're going to end up straining this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some ice in here and we're going to strain that over the ice. Right? So first thing I need to do is put a little bit of ice in here. So we're going to go a few cubes of ice. Not quite that many. Not just one. Sure, two, that's fine. Okay, and then we're going to reach over and we're going to grab these little guys. These are raspberries, and they're stuffed with little wads of mint, and they look kind of vaguely like eyeballs. If you don't squint too hard, haha, squint too hard, right? Isn't that cute? Yeah, there's a connection between the Corinthian and eyeballs, which I will not get into.
Because ew.
Because ew, yes. All right, so we're going to do that. So there's that. I'm also going to take one of these. So this is just, I should be using tweezers for this. My apologies. Up here. I mean, I understand it's just star and eye, but, you know. These are the tops and bottoms of limes that I have squeezed to make the ingredients for this particular cocktail. So we've got some little bits of lime, some little eyeballs sitting there staring out at us, and now we're going to make the rest of the cocktail. So what we want to do here is we're going to take 2 ounces of a Pellegrino blood orange.
You should point out their new packaging.
New packaging on the San Pellegrinos, right? So they're taller, thinner. Do not mistake these for their lighter
Memento.
seltzer. They're like Momenta or something like that. These are the original, or pretty close to the original recipe for the San Pellegrino sodas.
So if you're wondering why you can't find it,
Right.
they stopped shipping for a while to change over packaging. And
Right.
now they're coming out with the new packaging.
Ta-da. And we found the new packaging just at a local
Giant.
supermarket, Giant. Right. So there's 2 ounces. We're just going to pour those 2 ounces of blood orange soda in the bottom here, like such. Then we're going to pour ice in here. We're going to lid this up. There's some ice. I'm going to take some more raspberries. 2, 3, 4, because these I do want to get kind of macerated in here. Little flecks of red throughout the cocktail. That seems like it's appropriate. You may be getting the impression that maybe the Corinthian is not such a nice guy. How did I lose the top to this shaker? Right here. Wow. What a day, huh? What a day, what a day. You know what I could do? I could do this too. I could take these guys. So this is a little known trick. If you take the lime, either peels or the tops and bottoms like that, and you throw them in here, you actually get not just the lime juice, but you get some of the lime oil, and that changes the lime flavor. That seems all frothy and stuff. So we're going to frothy and stuff. Technical term, yeah. There we go. Strainer. Oh, it smells very raspberry. We do not care whether or not we get the bits of raspberry in here. So we're going to pour that like such. Look
Susie had been trying to find the blood orange soda.
at that. Just like a pro, that comes out. Nice. Okay. Whenever you do this, you do want to just take like a spoon and just bring it up and down a little bit, just to incorporate your soda in with the rest of the cocktail. Otherwise, that first taste is going to be nothing but soda. Yeah, that's tasty. But what are we going to do for a garnish for this? Oh, I think 2 eyeballs staring back at you on a sword pick. I think that fits appropriately. Just going to have them stare right up at you, dear. How about a straw? You know who we haven't mentioned to this episode? We have not mentioned Surfside Sips at all. So it's about time we did that, don't you think?
Yeah.
So we got these awesome straws from Surfside Sips that does custom-made glass straws, completely reusable, available on their website, available for 20% off if you use the discount code LOVECRAFT. We get a little kickback from that, so that allows us to afford more of their awesome straws. They do a really great job, and they are machine washable.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Dishwasher
safe. Machine washable is clothing. I'm like, what? That's not right. The words, they fail me. Here we have the Corinthian. When asked about the name for the character, the Corinthian, there's a passage where, and this is much later in the graphic novel series, where somebody is asked about the Corinthian's name and whether or not it refers to the city or the pillars or the fabric, because Corinthian leather, or the lifestyle. And Mr. Gaiman has indicated that it was meant to be a nod to the lifestyle. The Corinthian lifestyle, not quite a hedonistic lifestyle, but sort of taking pleasure when it comes to you. So whereas a hedonist would actively seek it out at every corner, the Corinthian is much more, I like the finer things in life, and when pleasure comes to me, I will take it.
It's yummy.
Yeah, isn't that yummy?
Do you want another sip before it goes away?
Sure, I'll have another sip of this before it goes away. That is yummy. It is, it's a pretty drink.
Yes.
Although it does look a little bloody. Which is probably appropriate. It is quite tasty. Oh, yeah, it looks like an eye staring right back at you. Yeah, so there we go. We have the Corinthian, we have Fiddler's Green, and we have the Sandman cocktail. Of these, I think the Corinthian and the Fiddler's Green clearly winners. Sandman needs a little more work, but the Sandman himself is on a redemption arc, so it works out well. Haha. There we go. That is episode 122 in the can for Quarantiki cocktails. Yeah, we've been doing this for 2.25 years, something like that. Yep. So throughout the entire quarantine. I know people are tired of being closed in. People are tired of wearing masks, but it's still not really entirely safe out there. So be safe, folks.
Or at least be educated about your risks.
Be educated about your risks. Sure, I'll go with that. Be educated about your risks. Take whatever risks you feel comfortable with. But remember also that when you take risks, you're also potentially putting other people at risk. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We love having you people tune in to us, whether you're tuning in live or whether you tune in later. Please, thank you so much for watching. I'm not going to say, hit the like and subscribe button, because I don't have a like and subscribe button. I think there's like buttons, but there's certainly no subscribe buttons.
There's follow.
There's follow. You can always follow the Lovecraft Cocktails page. Feel free to make posts, make comments to me or on other people's posts. Big shout out to H.P. Lovecraft, who had his 132nd birthday last week. So there's to HPL. I feel like we did him fine with a bloody cocktail that tastes really, really nummy. And we'll call it quits for the evening. So there we go. We're going to pack it in unless there are questions or comments. Hopefully I have avoided anything that smells like a significant spoiler to those of you that are looking forward to watching the rest of Sandman. And get it done. Get watching. Finish that up. It's good stuff. It'll leave you longing for more. Unfortunately, there is a second season. So, all right, we're going to sign off. Adios. Bye-bye.